What's up everyone, Speedy here. In this 1v1 video, we're going to be doing 2 live games as well as 1 replay review. So let's get right into it. I just realized I queued up 2s accidentally, so I am actually going to use this as a warm-up game for the 1s game, because I goofed. I'm just going to cut through. Had to pop over. That's a shot, nice. Okay, well, accidental 2s game, we'll take it. That's crazy that goes in, though. Could have actually taken more time there. Got there. These people looking good still. Thank you, thank you. What in the God's green earth is that supposed to achieve? I just gave him possession. Nicely done. Okay, that's classic 2s. No problem. I know you're there. Just about actually like having a situation that works out. Can't really go for that. Click back for teammate and this gets done. Okay. Unfortunate. Like that, yeah. Doesn't have to get fancy with every single touch he makes. Like, it looks cool, but it's not actually practical. Just like a cut and then just bring it to the corner with control is a lot safer. Grab pads. Got a cut here. It's going to be pretty awkward for them. Nice. There, it's just like looking what's high percentage, right? What you want to do is put yourself in a position where you can get the touch you need, and then you see how I'm like already rotating across, but outwards. By rotating across outwards, it just makes things a lot safer. So I think this is just we want to be aware of. Teammate has free ball. He booms the ball away. Okay. He's calling on right, but it's like he wants a pass, but it's like literally we're still in the corner trying to get safety and envelope boost. That is like what is that challenge, dude? what is that? What is that? Like why are you going there? Why are you going there a second, man? If you're wondering why I am looking great, I'm actually checking chat. And yeah, I'm in a live stream right now, so this is why I'm doing that during the recording. Can't really safely commit. Paik here. Played over him, and that's why. I mean, that's just well done. You know, just puts the pressure on and gets it done. So we're actually gonna say this was game one. You know what, I'm just gonna say this is game one. We're actually gonna make this a twos video, kind of impromptu twos video. I've not done a twos video in forever. It's been, I think, over a year at this point since I've done a twos video, so screw it, we're gonna do a twos video. Hope you guys enjoy, and hopefully it's nice and instructive. There we go. Here we are in game 2 of the video, deciding that during this stream, I wanted to make this into... You get the bump, so where are you going? Why are you challenging there? Brother. My god, dude. This is insane. Let's clear the ball and rotate back. This seems like a teammate I'm gonna have to play more passive. So what you see is, like, in a situation where you see a teammate that's just kind of like has to go with every single play, like, I can't safely go here. Gonna bounce straight out. I'm gonna play fast with this boost here. Get the bump. Rotate back. Boost should be back. There we go. Leave the stream open, won't be paying attention because I want to see the video. No worries. Oh my heavens. Place for the 50. Right, hit the boost. Can take time. No one's up. Gonna get an awkward touch. Teammate should be ready to go back. Grab this pad lane. So pad. He actually booms it out for us, so that's fine. Teammate's gonna turn back for boost. Can't safely go. Do get bumped, but that's actually okay. So here, grab this boost. Actually, honestly, could have just gotten a control touch here. Yeah, I was just playing it too passive. I really wish teammate just kind of went for control touch. I realistically probably should have gone once there was opportunity there, but got too passive, so could have played that better. Where are you going, dude? I'm trying to set you up. Unfortunately, he gets bumped there. It's a bad clear on my part. Just try to play across just in case one of them goes. He is tweaking. Nice. It's good pressure on him. And ends up resulting in a goal. Even if it's own goal, I do not care. It is in their net, so I'm fine with that. I'd actually rather cheat up soft here. Even if they end up losing the kickoff. He's doing okay with control. And so the opponent, like, what you want to do if you're the opponent in this position, you want to try to, like, what you want to do instead of, like, trying to control touch, especially if you have space and your like, opponent's first man's not challenging or they're not close yet, make sure that you just, you bring it across as quickly and efficiently. Nice. So we do grab a lead. So being down goal, and now we're up 2, or up 1. You want to bring it across quickly. If you try to play it slow like that, it's oftentimes going to make it awkward because you're usually playing the ball from above. So it just makes it even harder to get, like, a clean touch. Nice. It's all about the setup. So the goal here for me as first man, remember, it's not always about... Nice, so we're in a good spot to win this game now. It's not always about trying to get a shot that just goes into that. It's a big fallacy that you always have to score a goal with every play that you make. That's not true. An effective striker, sorry, I'm looking down at my chat. An effective striker knows very specifically that you need to be adaptive to the play. If you see that an angle is not open for a shot, but you see an angle is open for the backboard play, which can lead to a second shot, which can go in much more easily, go for that play. And then rotate out. Rotate out. The old saying, if in doubt, rotate out. If you can't make a follow-up touch, remember, it's not 1v1. It's 2v2s or 3v3s. Usually your teammate's going to be nearby. And if they're not, if they're playing really passive, try to use your right joystick. So this one here that you're seeing, use that to turn the car so that way you can see what's around you. If your teammate's super far, be ready to potentially challenge again because you might have to buy time for your teammate to try to rotate in. But if your teammate's close by, general rule of thumb, especially following the 70-30 rule, if you're second man, is for the first man, rotate out. Just get in and out of the play, make it happen, and get out. Okay, so here we are in the replay portion of the video, and we are going to be reviewing some twos footage as part of the very rare return to twos game here. So we are watching from the perspective of one of our community members, Loa, and so he is a GC2 player, currently GC2 in twos, C3 in ones. Ooh, that's a bit awkward there. I don't mind the idea because, like, what you're trying to do is you're trying to buy time for your teammate because it's a bit awkward here in the corner. Ideally, because you're kind of shadowing from this direction, it's difficult, especially like from here, if the opponent does this. Yeah, if the opponent does this and cuts across, if you're not able to get the ball out this way, it makes it harder. Especially in this case, you can't do this because your teammate's cutting across in like a really, really bad spot. I understand the reason why the teammate wanted to cut, like, shortcut front post, but the problem is in this position, if the teammate gets dunked here, where he's facing, the ball's just going to bounce in like that. Like, in a worst case scenario, the teammate's in a bad spot. So you definitely, I can say for sure that you did the safe thing here, trying to just wait. You do get bumped, so there's not really much you could do there. A teammate could have played that better. I think he honestly could have actually, like, rotated in a slightly different position, or played from behind and been safer and let you kind of come across there, and you would have had free space on the back right corner. It's a good cut here. I like this. Good pressure. Nice. I like this. I like that positional pressure. You're just in and out of the play. You make your play here. Nice. I like that. So something that a lot of people miss in terms of, like, playing twos and threes is the fundamentals of rotational play. So in a position like this, it's safe for you to cut because your teammate's really far back. You see how back, like, so think of, like, the 70-30 rule is like this set of, like, this set of horizontal paths that goes like 1, 2, and 3. Think of this as, like, usually your point where as a second man, once you start going past this and once you start creeping, you start getting into a zone where it's a bit more dangerous and it's more committal, especially if you're facing their goal side. So what you're doing is correct, and the reason is for two things. One, you're essentially keeping the momentum of the play in their side of the field. You're allowing your teammate to get to a better position as well. And so your teammate, look, for some reason, I don't know why, but your teammate's facing, like, backwards. They shouldn't be facing backwards. Like, this it provides like no rotational like benefit, because the reason is like by coming up like this, you're, think of like a zone of coverage, right? His zone of coverage is literally this wall. That's it. That's all he can cover. Realistically, this play is not going to be going to the wall. It's realistically, he should be kind of at this line here, at the 70-30 rule, just waiting. You know, he doesn't have to be moving. That's the thing. He doesn't have to be moving, but he doesn't have to be standing still. Just slowly in a small position here, kind of in the zone here. Kind of just in the zone here. And by doing that, what's happening is, well, as you get this play across, this is great pressure. Because now they're both kind of committed to this saving position. One comes off the wall and does a good job getting the wall save here. This one stays grounded, which is the correct thing to do. I like the rotations there and getting yourself set up. But teammate cuts across and makes that a little bit tricky. So I see why you kind of wanted to play back. This is good that you played back with the second man. It's a bit awkward here, but this is still okay. Nice. Good block there for the 50. If you were able to get that second pad there, so rather the first boost pad, so this one, as you got this, you probably come into that play with a little bit more boost to work with. You wouldn't be as constricted on boost. I still don't mind it, but it just gives you a slightly bit more of an option. It's a super small nitpicky thing though. I like the shot pressure. Nice. Good pressure there. And you're already putting yourself in a position where you're facing away from their goal side, so you're already able to rotate out. That's kind of what you want to be doing there. So you make your shot, make your pass, make your play, and get out. That's the most important thing. Because what happens is if you loiter in the play for too long, as you probably see, like have seen in some of the earlier games in this video, sometimes people will make it a lot more awkward, and it makes it harder to be able to make the plays actually count. So these are good things that you're doing there. Nice. Teammate cheats up on the kickoff, and you do a really good job on the kickoff here. I like this kickoff win here. So by playing it this way and then also flipping through, so you're a little bit more on the center line here, so this is fine. And then you flip left, and so what that does is it kind of just keeps the ball in that position. The opponent kind of comes across pretty heavily, and you do a good job of getting the ball set for your teammates. So that's a good shot and a good setup there. Nice. Good cheat there. That's beautiful. That's just beautiful. I like the way you set this up. You counted their strat? Yeah, absolutely. So this is really smart. What you also did here is, I had a feeling you're probably watching First Man's challenge here. Because if you tried to commit for a flip reset or an air dribble going into the box here, the opponent there, the first man, would have very easily just got the ball out. They would have just dunked you out. So this is smart going for the fake here. And now you have this free space here to have options. And so now you play into this. And I like that you place for the 50. It's hard to get momentum here unless you try to go for the quick air drag, and that's pretty hard to do. It's not so much mechanically hard to do, but just in this position, especially based off the way you were rotating with your car, it can make it a lot harder. Like here, like you see how there's separation, so that separation is what makes it hard to get like an air drag out of it, especially if you're trying to like play it really fast. But in this situation, what you did was perfect. You did the best mechanical and best decision making like situation. You made the best play, especially going for the 50. 50 is the best play. Absolutely is the best play here. Not only because of the outcome, it's because of the direction of how you force the intent of the play. That's the really big thing, is you push the play in a way with intent. Here, I like this. It's a little, I would be careful about going for the reset here. I don't mind that in this position, like here, but going for a reset, I feel like honestly a better play would have been going for the fast aerial, bouncing for like a ceiling pop, and then going for a follow-up touch here, and then putting pressure on the guy on the wall here. If you can put pressure on the guy on the wall here, this guy's effectively not really able to do anything in the play. He's in a position where he's playing on the opposite side of where the momentum of the play is, so he has to come up like this and you're already in this position. So if you get that ceiling pop, what happens is if you get the ceiling pop here, now you have momentum to where you could potentially go for a bump play on cords. So just, it's a small thing, but it's an idea for you to have a slightly better option. Flip reset here is just, it's a bit dangerous because the time it takes to set it up, and it also puts you in a place where you can't really place for a 50 at all. I don't mind that, that's good. Teammate just tries to put shot pressure here. They're both committing. This is kind of dangerous for you to be facing the goal side here. What I would probably do is if you're in this position, so you see how you're creeping? So you're creeping past, so kind of pay attention. You see how you're creeping past this like 70-30% rule? There's that like that last 30% of the commitment. You're committing well past that. And now you're kind of close enough to where like both your direction, like where you're facing, is towards the goal side. So you have no like real momentum to be able to recover, and you're moving towards their goal side. It's not just that you're facing the goal side, but you're so it's not just you're facing the goal side, but you're also moving towards the goal side. You're kind of creeping towards that. So just be careful about creeping here. You kind of want to like, you can kind of float around here, but going like through to this pad here and going even further past this is pretty dangerous, especially if you see that they're getting ready to clear. So this is the kind of moment you want to watch for a clear. So teammate goes here. So you want to think about where second man is. Try to get like a quick vision. Yeah, no, just a little too close here, and that's okay. We all kind of like in the moment don't realize when we're creeping up. It's just something you want to be careful about. But try to pay attention for second man. Second man and first man, that'll kind of give you a tell of like how the direction of the play is going to go. If first man's kind of like, so if they're facing this way, right? So look at how they're facing like this. Look at that boost trail, right? Look at the smoke trail. His momentum is going like this. He can't use momentum, right? So he's not the one you really want to be focusing on. The one you want to focus on that has momentum, that's dangerous for you, especially as second man, is the second man right here. Because he's coming off the wall opposite of his goal side, and he's clearing it out with momentum. And you see how by doing this, even if it's awkward and the outcome is awkward, the intent of what he's doing is what makes this more dangerous for you, especially when you're creeping. So you want to be conscious of that, especially when you're second man. You want to watch for these things, and also kind of try to face a little bit more kind of like inward like this, because in a position like this, you'll have more time to be able to rotate and be able to shadow. If you're facing in this direction and moving this way, creeping, it just makes it a lot harder to be able to recover. And now the ball kind of goes over you, and it kind of becomes the William Dafoe meme of like that, and the ball is just right above you. It's kind of like that situation. Good recovery here. Nice. Nice. I like that clear attempt. Nice. I like the shadowing there. Something that people kind of get worried about is when they're shadowing, and they're also going to use a lot of boost as second man, especially when they're back post. I like the fact that you did this two ways. One, you did this without using any boost, so you saved your boost as a backup because your teammate's zero boost. Realistically, he's not getting that pad. It looks like, yeah, so the opponent, the first man just stole that boost. So now he has no boost. Of course, he gets demoed. That makes sense. But the other reason why this is importantly, like, this is a good play, is you're putting yourself in a position where now you have that momentum to actually start, like, starting to play upfield. So I like that. It's a little awkward here. You're a little bit farther back, so it's hard to kind of, like, place into it. I do like this, though. I do like the way you place that. Good cut as first man. Teammate was kind of playing passive there. This is something in lower ranks is a lot more dangerous to do because oftentimes teammates not going to know that you're going to actually challenge this. In the ranks like where you're in like GC and above, typically the expectation is the first man is going to challenge here. So for those of you that are in the lower ranks and unsure of why low is challenging here, this is actually something that's more commonly good practice. And the reason is first man needs to force. First man is not just in offense. First man is also in defense. You have to recognize in defensive situations like this, you have to be able to actually shadow, but also force the ball into a position that's more predictable for your second man who can now place off of that, make plays off of that. So this is good here. Opponent tries to go for the reset. It's not a high percentage reset because he has no follow-up, for one, and he's low boost. That's the other reason. Two, also three, is the fact that you played this perfectly. You put this in a really good spot, and you did the correct thing here. Teammate, actually, honestly, I feel like teammate played this way too passive. From teammate's perspective, honestly, let me see kind of the play from their perspective. So you make the cut here. I would have preferred, honestly, if the teammate faced inward the other way. So instead of facing outward, faced inward, so he was facing the play. Because he's facing outward here, this makes this wider. Here, he's in a position where he could actually kind of play into this and have momentum to be able to place for a 50. It's a bit of a nitpicky thing because the reason is if you're coming out this way as your teammate, so it'd be like that. If you're coming up this way and coming up wide, so coming up from facing goal side and then cutting up like this and then placing for 50, the likelihood of the 50-50, especially based off like where you're going, like out to in to out, is in this position here, you're actually going middle, or so you're going in to out, and now you're going to potentially get a 50 that bounces off like this. That second man, or that first man, soon to be, is now in a position that's more dangerous for your team. So what he could have done here is actually rotated inward here like this, and then what you could do is as he comes in, he goes out to in and then pops that, and the ball is now in a position where it can pinch much more easily here. You are in a position where you can cover for the worst case scenario. So say if he gets dunked on, or if his play doesn't work out, you have the coverage here. You're already facing it. You have positional momentum, and you're already in that position here. So I would say this play was kind of this goal that's coming up here is on the teammate. The teammate definitely just played this way too passive. And also they tried to play in to out instead of out to in. This is a case where playing out to in would have been better based off the spacing of the play. So these are things you want to recognize as first and second man. Just this is not necessarily you specifically, low, but more just generally for those of you watching this video. You want to be careful about these situations. First and second man positions can be really important to kind of keep a watch of. Teammate misses the double tap attempt. That's okay. I like the fake here. This is something that a lot of people make a mistake going here. It's really dangerous, and the reason it's dangerous if you challenge here is if you challenge here and don't fake, one of the big problems is look at where your teammate is. 0 boost, and he's still trying to recover, and he potentially could have been getting bumped here. If Brutus decided to actually like bump like your teammate there, it would have been a lot worse. Because if you get dunked here by challenging and it doesn't work out, now he's tripped up, and now Corinth has free momentum to the ball, or with the ball. So you do the correct thing. This is the smart thing to do, is you're faking. You're buying time for your teammate. I would be careful about stopping fully here. I like the fake, but I would be careful about fully stopping here. Because like based off the position, right? You see the opponent is on the right side of the ball, like from your right. See, so they're facing the ball like this. The only way they're going to cut this is going to be to your left. So your left here. So they're going to cut this way. So I would be careful about stopping fully because you lose your momentum and you're not able to make the challenge. So I would just drive. I would drive with him. You don't have to use boost. Like you have plenty of boost, so you can boost if you want. But I would actually just like gently drive with him and keep shadowing, because what you're doing is you're forcing him to stay wall side here. So you're staying, essentially you're keeping him on the outside of the field here, which makes it safer. Teammate here is a bit awkward here. This is a bit too close for the teammate, because like if you were able to get a slightly cleaner setup for the shadowing, teammate would not need to be here. Honestly, if I were teammate, I would have grabbed pads and then be in the position that's safer and just kind of watch. I would be, instead of here, I would be like here and facing slightly goal side, just the shadow, but just kind of float, just kind of float a little bit. It'd be safer to float there in that position. I don't mind that. Good boost grab. Be careful about being kind of under the ball here. So I don't mind this boost grab. I do mind that you're kind of creeping up a little too much here. Because what happens is if you creep up really heavily, it's kind of like this essentially, is the ball just goes over. And it's not in a position where you can really follow it up. If hypothetically this bounced a little bit differently, if this bounced out more, so if this bounced instead of like here, so as you see this bounce in a second here, so if this bounced off the turn here, or rather the curve, or if this bounced outward more, this would have potentially been more dangerous, especially if it bounced up and out, because Brutus would have been in a position where you can fast aerial. It'd be like that, does have some boost, but it's not a lot. So it's definitely a bit of a sketchy position. I see you're kind of a little bit awkward there. That's okay. Just try to grab pads here. Yep, so that's correct. Just grab pads. Try not to use too much here. I like that. Ooh, that's a good save. Ah, that's oh no, that's unfortunate. That's a tough angle. It's a lot of people kind of like, especially like all of us in the community, we rag on people for missing open nets, but we don't actually realize when an open net is physically open, it does not mean that it's like pressure wise open, because the positioning here can be like really like you don't have time, and you have to make that, like, yes, it's open for a brief moment, but you have to like rip a shot, and you just don't have time to be accurate here. TV was a little passive here. It's okay for him to be passive. It's a safe thing to do, but he just gets dunked right after this, which is not ideal. Oh, that's just beautiful. Great read off the wall there. I like that. I like that a lot. Great beat here, beating the first man. Teammates are essentially kind of in this kind of like awkward position. So you're doing the great thing by cutting the play, because what you're doing is you're forcing the momentum of the ball and the play go back into their half. That's exactly what you want to be doing in that position. It makes it harder for the opponent to get the mental breathing room to be able to kind of get set up there. You were accurate on the shot. They were covering the rest of the net. I tried. No, you did everything you could there. It's just, again, it's really hard to get that. Like, it may be open in that specific spot. Like, the whole net, see, when I talk about the opening, it's like, it's not the whole net that's open. It's just this one sleeve, this one section of the net that's open. And it's hard to, like, when you see that, it's hard to get that perfect shot, because you have to get like a perfect boom. You have to get the opponent has to just not be there in time. Like, you did everything right there. It's just, it's a small little thing I noticed, but if anything, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I like this cheat. Oh, that's a great cheat. That's a great cheat. I like this a lot. So this is what we call soft cheating. So soft cheating is typically, hey Ols, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. We are actually doing a replay review right now, by the way. So welcome. So I like this cheat for a big reason here. Is you're soft cheating in a way that allows you to actually pick up the momentum of the play, but you're not overcommitting. It's really easy when you hard cheat to overcommit. So in this position, you're soft cheating here. This is good. Opponent does, or teammate rather, does a really good job of getting a great kill. And you're also in a position where you're flipping it left. The opponent flips forward. So it's been a minute. Likewise, man, it's been a good while. So by doing this flip here, you do this perfectly. You do the correct direction and momentum for the flip. So if you're kind of wanting to learn how to do this, if you're watching this video and not really sure how to do this, recognize the position as second man, right? So you're coming up here, watch, but instead of creeping too far forward, watch this position here. Do replay reviews? Absolutely. So watch this position, and you see how second man, their name is right there, and he jumps. You jump right after that, and then you also do the side flip to the left. It's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what you do. You win the kickoff there, and you put the position in a really good spot. That's a good save. I like the shadow here. Takes time. That's unfortunate getting demoed there. I like the idea for the cut though. Getting the cut for the control play here. It's how do you see his replays? So it's something that he sent me from Discord, and then I uploaded it onto my computer and then into my game file. So that's how we do that. And so in this position here, I like the idea for going in for the cut here. But even if you want to go for a cut, it's fine. But just see if you can try to get slightly more cut, because the way you get a cut cuts into him. You see how it cuts into where his momentum is a little bit, and you're not able to follow up fully. It's unlucky you get bumped there. In fairness, you do get a pretty unlucky bump there. He misses the ball and ends up smacking you, which is all good. Honestly, it's not the end of the world. I like that teammate kind of does a good job shadowing there. Ooh, that's unfortunate you get bumped there. Not really too threatening there. You do a good job of kind of playing this slow. If you're able to get slightly better rotation of the car, you actually could have like placed the shot directly on. What rank is low? He is GC2. So in this position low, I would have said like ideally, if you were able to line up like a really clean, so like your setup here is great, but I would say ideally, if you could just get the car to rotate a little bit more forward facing and then bang that ball forward with the flip, that's what would have given you like a really high percentage shot on goal, because there was no way they would have been able to rotate back in time to be able to save that, and you would have just had essentially a free position to shoot it from. Like you had the space. It was just about getting the car, like the car angle just lined up perfectly. Still okay though. Teammate leaves you the back boost, that's okay. Teammate's putting pressure, that's fine. I can see he's going for the bump pressure. Yeah, man, that's why I try. It's difficult sometimes. Yeah, man, that's no problem. Look, it's a mechanical mistake, but again, it's like that's part of the process of learning. You know, we all make mistakes. It's totally okay. You should see some of the mistakes I make. As actually, no, well, you've seen some of the mistakes I've made. They are interesting, so we're all good now. So what you want to do here is correct. Yep. So you're playing this correct as second man. You're just shadowing gently. I wouldn't have flipped. Ideally, I would have stayed grounded, because if you could have actually stayed grounded here, you actually potentially could have gone for the fast aerial just a tiny bit earlier. Once you flip here, you lock your momentum here just for a brief moment. And then at this point, you get beat by the opponent. You do a good job like backing off of it, because once you see, of course, you're beat. This is kind of awkward, so teammate has to cover. That's okay. Nice. That's well done by teammate. And that ends up the... Oh, okay, so they actually they forfeited at that point. Technically, the game would be winnable if they get some good kickoff goals, but still okay. Great replay, though. Honestly, Lo, this is great replay review. I'm really happy with how you played. Yeah, the main thing, like really, if anything, that I would say just be careful about is just be careful about creeping past this line here. When you start to creep past this, use these paths as reference points to know like to really stop at certain points or to not over push. So kind of like that play earlier in the game, but just you want to be careful about over creeping, especially also if you're facing their goal side and your momentum, you're moving towards that goal side and you see that second man is able to clear. So just kind of pay attention to where the direction of your opponents are. If you see that there's one of their people is about to just bang that ball really hard and get like a really heavy touch, be careful about facing this way and moving this way, because you just don't have a way to rotate back. So that's like the only like major thing really this game. I think everything else was either really small or just like overall you played fantastic. Honestly, I was really like impressed with overall, like you made the right cuts. I love the way you cut a lot of these plays. This is exactly what you want to be doing. So well done, man. If you'd like me to do replay reviews of your videos, let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed watching this video, I'd like to ask you to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Speedy Man out.